Hey, what's up, shot makers? It's Rob, and I'm here with Chaz Galata. He's going to tell you about his hoop story. He's going to tell you how he went from playing ball in St. Louis to everything he's done in his career. Chaz, introduce yourself to the people.
What's going on? Uh, for me, I grown up basketball all my life. It's been a big part of like who my identity almost, right? So, um, I moved into St. Louis when I was around seventh grade, and then kind of found myself as a rising star in basketball in the area. And then, as I kind of progressed through and got my opportunity to play Division 1 and on, each level has its own difficulties, its own challenges, its own kind uh, of problems that you kind of have to solve as far as you go through each situation and each environment. Um, so there's a ton of different, I could break it down and go through each stage, but to keep it short and sweet, it every stage you're going to get challenged. Whether high school for me, it was, finding how to be uncomfortable and finding comfort in that, right? Where every day I had to push, being the leader on my team, being the best on my team, I had to push everyone else to kind of rise to me. And when you hit that next level, Division 1, you are surrounded by other people who are going to push you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, when from each level, from high school to college to even, overseas, and playing pro, each
Mhm.
stage had its own difficulties and its own challenges that you had to, kind of search for.
So you started in seventh grade, man. That's actually
Yeah.
insane. Well, you moved to St. Louis in
I
seventh
moved to
grade. Did you
St. Louis
start
in
playing
seventh grade.
ball?
Basketball is like that was like well, my parents said it's my first word. It's basically been in my
Okay.
blood. Like yeah, so like my dad was a coach. My brother also played. Like we had a rivalry going all the way through. So seventh grade is when I moved to
Yeah.
St. Louis. But like I'm from
Gotcha.
originally from Kansas, and so basketball's been like I said, it's
Oh
been
yeah.
my identity since as long as I can remember.
Okay. Okay. So growing up, you said an older brother, right?
Younger. So I was the
Younger brother.
oldest.
Okay. You was the oldest. Okay. So
Yeah.
dad a coach, younger
Yep.
brother, sibling battles on the court.
Yep.
Um, what was your biggest challenge in basketball? Like what did you kind of have to work at to get better at?
I would say, I was always very competitive and I was always known as like a really great shooter, really hard worker. I would say the biggest things for me that challenged me was, more so on the defensive side, because I
Okay.
like the rock in my hands most of the time. So, the defensive side, I was like, I'll get it back on offense. That was kind of my mindset,
Yeah. Yeah,
when I
yeah.
was younger. But I would say, going through it was more so, being comfortable um, without the ball in my hands because that was kind of my role to begin with, where I was just a shooter, and then I moved to high school, and then
Mhm.
I found the ball, having it a lot more, and then when I got into college,
Yeah.
that was a big thing. Is like I had to basically find a way to like star my role. Right. And
Yeah.
when I first got to college, I really was not comfortable with that. Like I was like, I can do more though. Like that was my whole thing. It's like I have more game. I'm not showing everything that I can do.
Mhm.
When in reality, like that wasn't needed for the team to succeed, right? And so for me, like
Gotcha.
you kind of look at selfishly almost, and it the challenge is to kind of let your ego go to rest, and it's like we're playing for something
Mhm.
bigger. And when you're so close to it, it's so hard to like really realize that.
Man, what college did you play for?
So my first year, so I went to SIU in Carbondale. I played there my
Okay.
first year, and then I transferred to Northern Colorado, and then finished out there before. And I had one since I redshirted. I had one more year. Last year, I went to Maryville University and finished there.
Awesome. 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 And so after college, did you play any pro ball?
Yeah. So, well, I went through. This is a really hard struggle in my life personally because basketball is like
Hmm.
after Maryville, like that was my last year of basketball, of college basketball. That was the first year that basketball wasn't guaranteed. Like since I was little,
Mm.
like I was gonna play, I was gonna be a part of the team, I was gonna be like something, and that was always
Yeah.
guaranteed all the way up. And then I hit that spot, and I was like, So I did, you know, some of the combines. I did some of the things that I was said I was supposed to do, and you know, nothing really kind of worked out. And so
Mhm.
I went through a time in my life where, you know, you know, some people can call it depression, some people call it whatever. I just struggled, you know, finding who I was, and I kind of had some
Yeah.
resentment towards basketball because like, I didn't necessarily get to leave basketball on my terms. And so
Mhm.
after, you know, it was probably 2 years, I, you know, just got a call. You know, 2 years out of playing and a chance to go
Yeah.
play. And you know what? I mean, I made the most of was and I got to play in Colombia and played against with and against some great people.
Yeah.
People who have been in the league before, people who played against Kobe Bryant, people who, you know, and so it was surreal. It was interesting because it was during COVID, so the bubble season and everything.
Mhm.
And so navigating through that as well during that time. So, you know, there's a ton of different battles, but, you know, for me, getting those 2 years where like I didn't know if I was going to play, I wasn't sure. I was about ready to close the book and move on, and to
Yeah.
have that door kind of open, and then it gave me the opportunity to kind of leave on my own terms, which, you
Ma-
know, as any player, that's all you can really ask for.
Man, that's you know what, that's big. I think in life in general, man,
Right.
to be able to walk away from things on your own terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so let me ask you this: where are you now with basketball? I mean, I see you on IG. That's how we met, man. I
Yep.
love your page. Love the content that you create. Especially the educate. To me, it's educational. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm a even though I don't even play as much anymore. I
Yeah.
love just learning new moves. I
Right.
love learning like new ways to think the game through.
Yeah.
Um, what inspired your content, man?
Well, really, I mean, these are all things that I've either done, said, whatever. Like these are all things I would just talk with my teammates or um, some of the athletes. Like as soon as I get done with school, I was basically a strength coach, and that was like, you know, and I'm still doing that as well as the basketball stuff. But um, so like I would talk with this with some of my athletes that I was training at the time, as well as, you know, anyone who would listen, right? And so
Yeah,
you know, the crazy thing is, it's like, you know, when you're really passionate about something, you have, you know, no choice. It's just like you end up just talking about it, like at every
yeah,
aspect and at every dinner conversation, every passing, you know, you just happen to be talking about it. And you know, I got to the point where I was talking about it so much that, you know, people were like, will you train? You know, like I want you to
yeah,
train my son, daughter, whatever. Can you train me?
yeah.
You know, because they knew that I had a successful career at high school and the college and even, you know, got the chance to play professionally. So they, you know, like we want you, if nothing else, to be a mentor to,
Yeah.
you know, my son or daughter. And you know, I had enough people ask me where I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna train one person. I'm just gonna dive right in and just start this thing. And so I kind of went blast at it and was like, you know what? And so one night I just created a website, you know, laid everything out of how I was gonna do stuff, you know, committed to a schedule,
Mm.
and at the time I had some extra time that I was able to start because I was like, look at these other content creators and other basketball trainers and everything. They're always creating content, putting stuff out. And my thing was like, I'm going to use this more as like for people who can't train with me, right?
Mhm.
I want to be at least a resource to, you know, give you information, to give you, you know, more of the tools, right? I'm gonna basically, like the way I like to put it is I'll give away my secrets and then you come to me for the implementation of it, right? So that way I don't I'm about growing the game. I'm about, you
Yeah.
know, teaching people, mentoring people in a way that I never had when I grew up.
Man, I feel the same way, man. Like I used to be a trainer right when I stopped playing, probably around like the age of 23, 24.
Hmm.
I mean, this was ages ago, man. I'm 40
Yeah.
right now. But yeah, so you know, but that's what made me develop the Shot Makers League and the platform. The platform
Hmm.
literally is for people like you yourself, like trainers, coaches, basketball culture, to be able to
Yeah.
reach people outside of their local area.
Yeah.
And I love the concept, man. I love what you do. like I said, I always tag you, always
Yep.
I try
Yep.
to repost your stuff as much as I can
I
without
appreciate
being
it.
too crazy with it. But nah, man,
Yeah.
I love it, man. So right now, man, the tradition on the Shot Makers League, we still don't got a name for it yet. We might call it High Five or something like that. But
Yeah.
whatever we title this, the tradition is you got to create a challenge for the people. And Shot Makers League will put up a prize for your audience or any of our audience that takes a challenge and wins. But so what kind of challenge do you want to create? So we have the options of dunking, we have shooting, we have dribbling, and then we even have a training option. So out of those categories, which option would you like?
Well, tying back to, I'm, a shooter at heart, you know what I'm saying? That's what people know me for. That's what, I got to be guarded as soon as I enter the game. So
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna go
Let's
with the
go.
shooting challenge.
Okay, so we got a shooting challenge. We're gonna make this for everybody. What's the stipulations in the shooting challenge? What do they got to do?
Um, I'm gonna go with one that I have always done. One that's kind of, kind of close to my heart as far as like, I've basically done this with multiple people, and I've done it my entire life. My dad taught me this. But
Okay.
so what you do is you have two shots at each spot. All right. So it's a total from the corner, wing, top wing corner, and you have to make two in a row to move to the next spot. All right. If you miss, you start over and you count basically how many shots it takes you to make all 10.
Let's go. Let's go. Start from the. We're gonna start from the left wing, work our way around to the right. Two shots in each spot.
Yep.
10 spots total, and whoever gets it with the least amount of misses will be the winner.
Yep. I like it.
Let's do it. Hey Chaz, hey, we appreciate you being on here, man. Appreciate you giving us your time.
Yeah.
Uh, Love to have you back again someday.
For sure. For sure.
Hey man, I appreciate you.
Yep. Peace.